Hey, listen to Commander Cookout Podcast, episode 117. I'm Brando. I'm here with Ryan, and we're going to continue the Arc of the Audience 2.0, The Revenge, with a bird tribal deck, and we're going to take to the skies. Now hit our theme song! Hey, Ryan. We're back for yet another whirlwind adventure. How you doing?
Good. What's going down?
Whole ton is going down. We're in episode 2 of the Arc of the Audience 2.0, The Revenge. And we're going to spice it up a little bit this time, and we're going to take a few decks that were remarkably similar.
Yeah, I guess that the type of deck, you said it in the intro, I guess, Tribal Birds is like a cult following. It's like, what did I say before the show? It's like a Rocky Horror Picture Show cult following of Magic tribes.
Yeah, I didn't expect that at all. I didn't expect we were going to get very many tribal decks, honestly. I didn't think we were going to get that many.
You know what's funny is you said that, now we're just going to be flooded with them.
we've already got more than I thought we were going to get, so any more is gravy as far as tribal decks go. And we got 3 that are like the same tribe, not doing the same thing. That's why we've grouped them all together.
You know what's funny is we thought that they were the same thing, but 2 of them kind of are, and one of them isn't actually a bird tribal deck. I just wanted to talk to you about it.
One of them is the kind of bird tribal deck that people are going to see coming as you are the bird tribal player. This is an evolution, I would say, of decks where you have the, hang on, I'm just playing this busted commander because I want to play this jank tribe, a la Zur Sea Creatures.
Yes.
Then we have the more focused in on it, bird tribal, I'm going to actually commit to this, bird tribal. And then we have the, don't worry guys, it's just bird tribal.
Oh, baby.
Yes.
Which one do you like the best?
I like the second one the best.
You like going like balls deep on bird tribal.
Yeah, I'm a jank tribe person, so...
that's the thing I got notes. I want to talk to you about that.
It's in the wheelhouse, so I appreciate that we're doing all of these decks at once, because one of them is very something I think you're into,
yeah.
And then we've got a couple that are more my speed. I'm digging this. This is going to be a good one. We were just talking off the mic, and we're going to devolve here for just a second, because I want to say this to some people who are going to listen to me.
they're gonna just hit the plus 30 to go 30 seconds forward on the show.
Don't do that though.
Okay.
So it's Avengers Endgame. I'm not going to give you guys any spoilers because I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. But here's the thing: lots of people saying, "Oh no, spoilers, guys." Blah blah. Blah. For Avengers Endgame specifically, if you're a fan of Marvel Comics or Marvel Comics movies, you know how the movie ends. You know who dies. If you've been paying attention to the franchise at all, you know whose contract's up and who isn't coming back.
No.
You know what's going to happen in the end. So if somebody spoils it for you...
He was doing the air quotes.
Just enjoy the ride. The movie's a lot of fun. If you haven't... I went in expecting it to be totally medium, and I'm like, okay, cool. I'm glad I saw the end. It's been 10 years. That was cool. And it was actually really good.
That's kind of like War of the Spark.
Yes. Oh. It's exactly like that, where it's just, I think this is going to be pretty medium, whatever. And then like as you get into it, super good.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. No regrets in seeing it. I had a great time, and you will too if you go and see it. We're not a movie review podcast.
No.
But I just really wanted to say that. If you hear F the spoilers, it's all about the journey. We all know how it's going to end. So
lots of people aren't as enfranchised as maybe you and I talking in a studio about Magic would be about Magic. So they might not know whose contracts are up.
I suppose. Actually, I didn't know.
It still sounds like we're a movie podcast. God damn it.
No, I didn't know whose contracts were up, and I knew who. I picked everybody that was going to die.
Oh, yeah?
Every single person. This one, all dead. And then, well, of course, Brad, their contracts are up. It's like, oh, well.
Oh.
1, thanks for spoiling the movie for me. And 2.
Yeah, I'm not even going to see it. I haven't seen any of them.
It's fine. It's good. If you're thinking about seeing it, go see it. It's good.
Sure.
Line Mickey Mouse's pockets. Mickey Mouse will become Scrooge McDuck pretty soon. It'll be terrible.
Social media coordinates?
Social media coordinates. We are CCO Podcast and CCO Brando on tappedout.net. That's where you can see this week's list, last week's list, next week's list, and any other list that we do throughout the course of the show. We're also those 2 things on Twitter. Forgot to say Twitter.
There you go.
We are commandercookout@gmail.com. That's where you can send us love mail, hate mail, show suggestions. Still lots of time to get your deck in for featuring on Arc of the Audience 2.0, The Revenge. No nudes?
I got...
You got them?
Sort of.
It happened?
Yeah, kind of.
Have we ever talked about that guy that sent all of like the porno thing with cards.
Oh man,
It's like
Topless Lily, where she was half unsleeved out of a card sleeve.
Yeah.
Oh man. Or Garrick in a sleeve that was upside down, but the sleeve was pulled up to the top half of the card, so it was a full frontal Garrick. Oh no, the sleeve was totally off. He was full frontal.
Yeah, there are some clever people out there.
Oh yeah,
and
those are good.
we
nudes.
appreciate you.
I got nudes as part of a giveaway entry for the dark. We'll talk about that in a sec, though.
Excellent. Okay, we also are wherever you can find better podcasts anywhere. That's your iTunes, your Google Play, your Google Machine, your Spotify, your Podbean, your Podomatic, all those places. We are also on YouTube, Patreon, and FlipsideGaming.com, where you can use special promo code CCOFU to get 10% off your entire order store-wide. And if you missed any of that, or I just screwed it up real bad, or you missed all the banter, you can check all of that stuff out on the official home of the Commander Cookout on the entire internet, CommanderCookout.com.
On CommanderCookout.com. Giveaways page, you can find all of the deets that you need to get yourself entered to win the dark.
The whole dark.
The whole set is going to one lucky listener who is either going to give us a written review on iTunes or in some creative way show us that they're sharing the podcast with new members of CCO Nation.
Yes.
And that could be, wearing your shirt at your LGS on F&M night, or somehow showing that you're telling people about CCO Nation somehow.
Maybe you got your sticker on your deck box. Maybe you've put the sticker on like the wall. Maybe you go to college, you put it on the wall with all the band stickers and stuff.
Oh yeah.
I stuck one on the wall at a pub here in town.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, I want to don't tell me where it is.
Okay.
Just in case I ever go there, as seldom as I ever go to the movies. What if in 10 years I saw it, I just randomly in the bar that you were in?
Oh, that'd be cool.
Oh man, I would cry. I might not cry.
Yeah, hell, man, I might see it again and I'll cry. I put it there.
Very excellent. Now, the iTunes review. Oh, wow. Do the people that gave us the couple reviews that we got since last week have an excellent chance of winning this deck giveaway. So, CCO Nation, get to iTunes, get a review on there, help us out. That's how you're going to win the dark this time around.
Yes. Also, Ryan didn't know I was going to do this, and I was hemming and hawing of it in my head before I did it.
Huh?
As with our other giveaways, if you just interact with us on the Facebook or YouTube or whatever, we're still going to push the YouTube.
Yep.
So we got lots of really great video content coming up. Ryan's editing it. It's a super good time for everybody. So if you go leave a comment, if you take a big dump on the like button's porch and light it on fire and run away, we'll enter you in to I'll give you, I don't know, 8 cards out of the foil bag.
Ooh, Brando is stepping up the foil bag game.
Yeah, so just some stuff, just to encourage you guys to go out, interact. It's hard to convince people to click the like button sometimes.
Dude.
So fuck that like button's life up. Get some stuff.
I am pumped for our videos.
They're super good.
Man, I think they're funny. Maybe it's just because I think I'm funny. I don't know. Maybe my mom tells me I'm funny too much. She listens to the show, hey, and she's like, you guys are funny.
Well, it's one person.
Yeah. Yeah, the videos are exciting. I'm doing one. It's probably going to launch. We're recording on a weird day, so when I say tomorrow, it doesn't mean anything to CCO Nation, but to you, it's probably going to launch tomorrow. So just go on Twitter and retweet it.
Excellent.
Oh, man.
So that's the thing.
You mentioned Patreon.
I did.
The new for Arc of Audience 2.0, the Revenge, the new patron sign up. We've got some crappy ass proxies that we are going to sign and maybe draw pictures and darks and stuff on, dark moons, and we're going to send those out. They are ghost ships or islands or underground seas or like islands. So we actually had a patron suggestion a little while back that said that he wants to just receive jank-ass cards that were either defaced in some meaningful way or otherwise just signed by us. And if people want to play those and jam them in games as islands or as what they're actually proxied as, go ahead. You're going to get them in the mail if you sign up.
And tell people where you got them. Get yourself entered to win the dark.
Oh, yeah. Double positive. Now, we've got a couple new patron shoutouts.
Okay.
First, we had Sean Wells up his pledge to get a nickname.
Are there any famous Wellses?
Wellses. There is Vernon Wells, ex-Blue Jay. Does that count?
Is he a current? He's not a current Blue Jay, though?
No, he's not even a current baseball player anymore.
Is he dead?
I got it.
Okay.
Washed up Wells.
Ooh.
There we go.
That's a good one.
Yeah, we like
Excellent.
alliteration here on CCO Podcast.
Yes, we do. I like that one. Good one.
Okay, this one I didn't know until you told me that it's like read it backwards, and it's like an alias that he used on Patreon. So what do we do with that?
We give him a real name,
So it's Snepa Tis.
which is shit happens backwards.
I didn't even see it.
Yeah, just so that's a thing. We're gonna call him Zeke.
Zeke?
Zeke.
Not where I thought you were going with that.
Yeah, Zeke.
Like Ezekiel or just Zeke?
Just Zeke.
Zeke.
That's the whole name. There's no last name either. Zeke.
I will not ever forget that now.
Excellent.
Okay, last shout out. Michael Guzman. That sounds dirty. I wasn't even trying. I think I said that on the pre-show too. It sounds dirty again. I've only ever said that name out loud twice.
It
Once
sounded dirty
now,
both
once
times.
on the pre-show.
I think just call him Michael Gooseman.
Oh, hey, we talked about geese on the pre-show as well, and it's fitting. We didn't even mean to start talking about geese,
Yeah.
and we're doing bird tribal today.
Yeah, birds that beat you up, and we're talking about decks that use birds to beat you up.
Do bird tribal decks beat us up?
Maybe. Yeah, no. They try real hard, okay?
Yeah, that's
Okay,
the thing.
they're trying.
They're tribaling.
Shut up. That's terrible.
Okay, got two things.
Two things.
And these are a little bit self-promoting things, so I know that I don't want to take a bunch of your time. First thing, you mentioned the YouTube videos.
Yes.
We cracked a couple of booster boxes.
Yeah, we did.
The packs that we cracked, those cards may or may not be up for auction on our Facebook page in the next couple weeks.
Check out some sweet painted cards from your boy Ryan. Didn't get the foils you wanted? We got you covered.
Yeah, that's the thing. So for the next couple weeks, the cards we opened.
Yeah.
Wink, wink. I think everybody knows what cards they're going to be. Second thing, the new podcast, Commander Ad Populum. That is my solo show, it turns out. That launched last week. If you can search that up on Podomatic, or by this time it should be on Google Play and iTunes, you should be able to hear it there. So go over, have a listen, tell me if it's good or bad, or if you have any suggestions for me. Super awkward to talk to yourself for half an hour, so help me out. I'm looking for a logo. If anybody has any artistic bone in their body that is like for doing logos, hit me up.
Excellent.
Now,
Bird Tribal.
I was going to say, should we talk about a deck? But it's 3 decks.
It's 3 decks. I forget how we do this with lots of decks. Do we read all the commanders first? Do we go through the decks one at a time?
Well, yes. The first one isn't actually Bird Tribal.
So let's start with that one.
Okay, because it's going to actually be the fastest. It's actually a Mariki Beret deck. Mariki Beret.
Mariki Ribi. It sounds like a bird.
Mariki Ribi.
Mariki Ribi. It sounds like a bird thing if you played it backwards
If we said it really fast.
in an attempt to summon Satan.
I don't know. I feel like this is the kind of word I would say, and then F.U. Jesse would correct me with the correct accents and pronunciation and stuff, because he speaks like 87 languages.
He can't even speak French. He speaks Quebecois. And I'm sure he'll have perfect diction.
Yeah, perfect. Something. That starts with dick.
Okay, so do we read the commander for this one? I'll read it. Let's give her a quick read. She's not really the
Birdiest.
focused or the birdiest that we want to talk about. Mariki Ribini
Yes.
is a 1/1 for what wedge is that? What
That is
Esper?
Esper, and they are a shard.
White, blue, black. Does not untap during your untap phase. You can tap her to gain control of target creature. You lose control of that creature if you lose control of her, if she leaves play or becomes untapped, and then you bury the creature.
It dies. Or
Yeah.
it gets sacrificed or
Gets
whatever.
sacrificed. It's different.
Yeah. That's fine. She's not very birdie, but the listener that submitted it, Donatello Bazinga.
Oh yeah, it's one of our Ninja Turtle guys.
Yeah, one of our other celebrity Ninja Turtle guys.
Yeah.
Submitted the list a little while ago because he had some custom 1/1 flying Dovescape tokens made, and that's what like drew me in, like something about birds or doves or whatever. I found the list when I was searching for lists that we can feature, and then I click on the list and it's like this combo deck that it involves Opalescence and like Parallax Wave or Parallax Tide, and you remove fade counters to exile stuff. And when Parallax Wave is a creature, you can remove a fade counter to exile it. And then when it leaves the battlefield, it brings back all other things that it exiled. So you could let those exile triggers resolve and just like continuously blink your stuff. Or you could put those exile triggers on the stack and then exile Parallax Tide in response, and then it comes back, and then it's leave the battlefield, trigger will resolve, and then it's whatever. Then like you can permanently blink stuff with it. It's this weird combo deck.
Yeah, it's dirty.
But that isn't 100% what I wanted to ask you about in the deck.
Okay.
It's a cool deck, and it runs a bunch of powerful cards.
Like Dovescape.
And it does run the aforementioned Dovescape. Give that a read, because that probably goes in Bird Tribal. Come on.
Dovescape is an enchantment for Azorius 3. Whenever a player plays a non-creature spell, counter that spell, that player puts X/1/1 white and blue bird creature tokens into play, where X is that spell's converted mana cost.
So that would turn...
So there's no more counters, no more sweepers, no more burn spells, no more tutors, nothing. You play creatures or you eat shit.
And that turns all of our like interaction and removal in bird colors, we'll get to that in a second, into more birds. But it also turns everybody else's stuff into birds so they can block our birds. I don't know if this card's actually even good, is it?
It's fun.
Is it fun? You played it before?
I have played it before. It is a lot of fun.
Okay, I'd take your word for it.
I played it as backup for other creatures, though. I played it in my Grixis Merfolk deck.
Ooh.
Not Grixis.
No.
My Esper Merfolk
Yes.
deck, I'm sorry. I played Esper as well. And I played Merfolk. And then I played basically Swords, Path, and this as white cards.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Speaking of white cards, this is the card I wanted to talk to you about.
Okay.
Enduring Ideal.
Good God.
Now, I think is it the Ideal or is it Enduring? What is the what's the cycle called?
I think they're all different.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, it's epic. It's the epic.
The Epic cycle.
Epic cycle.
Give this one a read, and they all do similar thing.
Enduring Ideal is a sorcery for 7. 2 of them are white. Search your library for an enchantment card, put it into play, shuffle your library, and then it has Epic. And Epic says, for the rest of the game, you can't play spells. At the beginning of each of your upkeeps, copy this spell except for its epic ability.
So, white, 5, search for an enchantment, right into play.
Yep.
And then you copy it, and you're not even casting the copy, and you're not casting the enchantment that it gets.
Right.
You can't cast spells for the rest of the game.
Well, you copy it, so don't you cast the copy? Well, isn't that what copy means?
No, copy is different than cast.
Okay.
It would specifically say cast the copy.
Okay.
That's why that new red finale is so good, because you're casting. Anyways, they all do the same thing, where you can't cast anything for the rest of the game, and you do their same effect over and over again. Have you played these in Commandy?
I have played 2 of them in Commandy. I played Endless Swarm. That's the green one. It makes a snake for each card in your hand.
Oh, and you're always drawing cards,
Yeah,
so each turn you get an extra snake than you had last turn, right?
Up to 7.
Oh, I suppose.
Unless you have something that makes you have no maximum hand size.
And you would if you're running that card, then you would.
Yes.
Okay.
It's not very good. I cut it almost immediately. Then the next one was Never-Ending Torment. I played that. You search through your opponent's library for X cards, or X is the number of cards in your hand. Remove them from the game.
Oh.
It sounds really good, and in certain situations, it's very good. But it isn't very good. It's too slow.
It's too slow, hey?
7 things from target player's graveyard. You have no way of protecting yourself. You're just balls to the wind, and nobody wants to have all their good stuff taken out of their deck, so they just beat the shit out of you.
Yeah. So we say like redundancy and reoccurability are good in Commander. This isn't redundancy other than the fact that it's like recursion for the same type of thing every turn.
Yeah, this is too much recursion. This is too much of. This is what happens when you have too much of a good thing. Too much of anything is bad, and too much of this is bad.
What if you could just win the game with Enduring Ideal? That's the white one in 2 turns. You cast it the first time, and then you get your enchantment. Then you cast it the second time for your second enchantment. 7 mana, 1 card, 2 turns, win the game.
Then it's fine unless somebody has disruption,
Yeah.
artifact removal, or a counter spell. My favorite thing with these enduring spells is Declaration of Naught.
Oh lordy!
Where
You name a spell, it just counters it
yeah.
every time you play the spell.
Enduring Ideal, sweet.
Or Meddling Mage or whatever.
Yeah, and now you're screwed because it does still use the stack, so you could still counter it.
No, because you're copying it.
So you can't counter a copy.
No, because you're not casting it.
So it just happens.
It just happens.
You can't counter it with like a Azorius Guildmage.
I am very reasonably sure that you are copying them. And that's it. I don't know. Maybe they use the stack.
Because everything uses the stack. I've always played these as if the copy goes on the stack. You might not be casting it, but it still goes on the stack where it can be interacted with.
Yeah, I believe that you're right, because when I copy stuff with Zata, those copies use the stack. You're right. Okay, then you just Declaration of Not or Meddling Mage it.
And then you're
Declaration of Not it. Yeah.
Then you're screwed. Not that many people play Declaration of Not, but if you're packing a deck that packs these cards, it's gonna happen.
Declaration of Not's fine if you don't want somebody to land their commander.
Also good.
Should we go to the next deck?
Yeah, I guess. All right, the next one.
Did it get dark in here or something?
The sun went down, man.
No, but like more. Oh, my screen shut off. It's like, what is happening? Wow, Ryan.
You're the best. Oh, yes, the next one is the real commander that pilots an actually fun deck, as opposed to the real commander piloting a dirt sandwich, I'm a piece of garbage deck.
Yes. So this is, who do we got here?
Derevi, Imperial Tactician.
Ooh, give her, I believe, a read.
I didn't think we'd ever talk about this card on the show just because it's such a piece of junk.
Dude, we found a way. We found even a way to talk about this guy.
We'll figure it out. So she's a 2/3 for green, white, blue, or as the kids call it.
Oh, this is what that feels like?
Yeah, that feels like. Abzan?
Oh, you were asking me what it actually feels like?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were trying to make me make something up. No, it's Bant, you dink.
Is that Bant?
You even play Magic?
No.
It's Bant.
Never in my life have I played this game. So for Bant, with flying, whenever Derevi Imperial Tactician enters the battlefield or a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, you may tap or untap target permanent.
So it attacks. It's hard to block because it flies. When it hits you, you tap or untap something. Ooh, that doesn't sound like a... Okay.
Like a dirty ass thing. And then you can pay Bant +1 to put it from the command zone into play. So the commander tax does not apply to Derevi.
Sounds decent with Food Chain, because you can just
play it forever.
Sort of. Food Chain only gives you one color mana, but I've seen Derevi Food Chain lists. More often than anything, I've seen Derevi Stacks lists, though. Because you just lock them down so they can never block your flying commander, and you can always just continue to tap their stuff or untap your stuff if you're sitting under a bunch of orbs and spheres, as we say.
Yes.
That's the list, right?
Not this one.
Not that A.
Nope. This is Bird Tribal of the First Order.
Yeah, and this is actually friend of the show. I actually just did an altar for him. He's getting married this summer.
All the best to you. Congratulations to you and your wife.
Jake Kitts Miller. Jake kills something Miller?
Jake Kills Miller?
I don't know if he has a nickname.
Jake Kills Miller.
Got it.
That's his nickname.
This is his deck, and he wanted to play Bant Birds. But I think that Derevi's the only green bird because green is the least supported bird color.
Sure. Why did he want to play Bant?
I don't know. Maybe he's not very smart. I don't know.
I'm going to look through here for some green cards.
Oh, hey, there's some real green cards.
Beast Within, Beastmaster Ascension, Beck and Call, Bird of Paradise.
Oh, got there.
There's
I was
bird.
just thinking that it's a good mana dork, but it's actually a bird.
It's a bird also.
Next level.
Bow of Nylea, Bower Passage. We're just kind of bouncing. Oh, I like this one.
Look
creatures
at that.
With flying can't block creatures you control.
Creatures with flying can't block creatures you control. That makes your guys...
unblockable.
Yeah, because
all your guys fly.
They all... Wow, that is a good one.
That's a good-ass card. That is tremendous.
Leave it to CCO Nation to even surprise me, hey?
Yeah.
Oh, hey, go back up. What's this one?
Fable of Wolf and Owl.
I love that picture.
That's very good. It's an owl coming down to fight this wolf. Both of them look super duper badass.
What does that even do? Is this was that a cycle with Dovescape? But now it's
not even in the same set.
Wow.
I know. It's Simic 3 enchantment. Whenever you play a green spell, you get a 2/2 green wolf. Whenever you play a blue spell, you get a 1/1 blue bird with flying. So you play both, you get both. So if you can infinite Derevi, you can get infinite bros.
Hey, that's not terrible.
Yeah.
Okay. But mostly it's probably in there because you want to get birds for casting blue stuff.
That too.
Okay.
Yeah. And then you got CCO Brando favorite, got Fresh Meat. It's a good card in here too. Whenever your thing instant for 4, you get a 3/3 green beast for each creature that died that turn. So if you get your whole team wrathed out, you can replace them.
Yeah.
That's not tragically bad.
Okay. I like this one, Gravitational Shift.
Ooh, that's a good one. I think that's in our other bird list as well. Speaking of green stuff, We're kind of old school in this one, hey? We're like just picking out cards that are key in the list. In this case, it's the addition of green to a bird tribal list. Why do you add green? You add it for Steal Your Resolve.
Ooh, classic tribal. We're going to talk about tribal after we do the next list, but give this guy a read. I actually need this for my Onslaught collection, I think. Maybe I got one from Evan.
It's an enchantment for green 1.
Okay.
As it comes into play, choose a creature type. Creatures of the chosen type have Shroud. Not Shroud. Hexproof. No, Shroud. I got the two mixed up in my brain there for a second. Shroud.
That is definitely Shroud.
Shroud. Nothing can target them. Not even your stuff. That's old school.
That's actually cool.
Yeah, it's very neat.
I think it's expensive now because it's never been reprinted.
I think when I got mine, I have one. I think I paid $9 for it. I don't know how much it is now.
It's a little bit more. I like this. Swan Song.
That's some flavor.
That's flavor. It gives them a bird.
But it takes away whatever it is that they're
Get this.
doing.
Play your own thing. Swan Song it to give yourself a bird. If they have got flying blockers and are at like 4 and you have gravitational shift, you attack them for 4.
Next level.
Yes.
There's a Tameo Field Researcher. I don't even know what that card does. I've never seen that card
There
before.
is too many words on that card. It's a mythic. You probably want to play it if you're playing Bant. That's what I'm going to say.
Sure. Ooh, no wait, that first ability is real good. Choose up to 2 target creatures until your next turn. Whenever either of those creatures deal combat damage, you draw a card.
Okay, fine.
That's real good. That's real good.
I already told you should play it if you're playing Bant.
Well, definitely play it now, especially if you're playing creatures in Bant. And why wouldn't you be?
Maybe you're a degen and asshole.
Yeah, I guess.
Let's go to the third list. Let's go to the third list. We can hit up some birds, and then we'll talk about actual tribal.
Okay.
Jake kills Miller. Thank you.
This is a cool deck. I like the addition of green. I like adding a color to a tribe that doesn't normally get it. I like that. That's a cool idea.
I want somebody to send us a green zombie list. Actually, I think we have somebody in our Discord that's
Doing 5 color zombies?
5 color zombies.
I'm pumped for that.
Yeah.
Okay, here we are. Okay, here we're going to actually talk about some birds for you guys. We're skipping over, like, what does bird tribal even do? We're going to talk about some bird tribal, some birds, and then we'll talk about tribal. So we'll bang through these birds real fast. You ready, Ryan?
Not quite. I want to say that this is Simon with an E on the end.
Simon.
Casolo's deck. Casolo. I'm probably saying both of his names wrong.
Sorry, man.
That's okay. You know what? I like this deck because it flip-flops between Kanji Airy Keeper and Ishai Ojutai Dragon Speaker, both legendary bird creatures, and I couldn't give two shakes about Ishai. Kanji Airy Keeper, not even kidding you, my second EDH deck ever.
I remember that deck.
We used to jam that deck at McDonald's. Remember we used to play at McDonald's?
Yeah.
When we were young and had lives and we'd go out and we'd do stuff.
Yeah, that was...
Like go to McDonald's to play Magic.
No, we'd play Magic at my place until 2 in the morning, and then we'd go to McDonald's to get burgers and play Magic until like 4 in the morning.
Oh, man, just to be as old as F.U. Evan again.
Right?
Or I don't even think
show.
he can drive yet, actually.
Yeah. No, we had to give him a ride everywhere. It was ridiculous.
I like how he actually helps us on our Discord all the time. We still rag on him for being like...
He's a tremendous human, and we tease because we love.
I don't know. Let's talk about some birds.
Sure. Okay. Should we just do them all real fast?
I think we're going to notice a trend. As soon as we notice a trend, I'm skipping all of the rest of them.
Okay, Apex Hawks.
2/2 flyer for 3 and it's something else.
Arctic Avon.
2/1 flyer for 3 and something else.
Augury Owl.
A 1/1 flyer that lets you scry 3 for 2.
We both talk about the pissed off pigeon.
The pissed off pigeon. What's his name?
Avon Brigadier.
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 I like Brigadier.
Yeah.
That's fine. White, 3 for a 3/5 flying. All other birds get +1/+1. All other soldiers get +1/+1. You could play them in your soldier tribal or bird tribal.
That's good. How about Avon Fate Shaper?
That's a 7-drop that flies, and it's a 4/5 with something else. I'm glossing over the other ability because you know what the pattern is? They're all designed for limited.
Yes.
And that's the downfall of bird tribal, I think, right?
That is the Achilles heel, so to speak. They've printed a few cards to try and make them viable, but not really.
Okay, so let's get into this a little bit. I want to talk specifically about tribal. I said that mostly they're in blue-white. Green is the least supported color. black is the third most and red the fourth most supported color. So let's say that bird tribal is in 2 colors.
Are red in red? Are they the phoenixes? Are they birds? Is that where the birds come in red? I play lots of red. I don't
No,
remember
they're
lots
like
of birds.
vultures or buzzards or something.
Oh, okay.
There's 250 total birds.
That's enough to make a bunch of different tribal decks.
I should say birds that have bird on their type line, not like changelings and stuff.
Yes.
So theoretically, that should be enough. Like if we could build, you said if we can build dinosaurs twice, we could build birds.
100%. I
And-
built snakes. You know, like
Oh yeah, there's probably not 250 snakes.
yeah, we've built all sorts of junk tribal lists on this show. We've built dinosaurs, we've done snakes, we've done shapeshifters, we've done ooze.
My rebuttal was, before we started to record, my rebuttal was the birds are designed for limited play because they're flyers that have some relevant like bird flavor ability, and dinosaurs are like designed for EDH. They're making us play them by making them too powerful to ignore.
Yeah, dinosaurs are beat wholesale ass, and birds are there to fill out your deck in a limited format. And you're right about that. And that's the main issue that you have with birds is sometimes with the tribal deck, you get the Zada effect.
Oh, baby.
There's only so many good birds you can play, and so all the decks are the same. But
all of the bird decks that we could look at are going to play Kanji Airy Keeper. They're all going to play Avon Brigader. They're all going to play like Commander Ishra, Ojutai Dragon Speaker, probably Ameria Angel, which is not even a bird. It's an angel, but it makes birds for landfalling.
probably even Mimeomancer, because it makes things into birds. Like, you're probably going to see all of those things show up, because there's only like... There's not enough good ones to actually make a functional deck.
Here, I'll ask you a couple questions. I don't want this to sound like we're being negative or ragging on bird tribal because, like I said, it's my very second deck ever, and I love it.
Yeah,
that's why I picked it. FYI.
And we'll get back into the decks in a second because there are some really cool things that you can do here.
I want a glimpse in the door for a minute. Not your full frontal door or nothing like that,
Sure.
but under-supported tribes. We've built some on the show. You are a fan of them. How do you do it? Specifically, do you just make like aggro decks? Do you just jam all of the tribe that are good and then you just like fill out the deck with other things that make you want to win by attacking? Like, how do you do it?
For me, I usually start with... Honestly, I usually start with something else that I want to do. Like, I'm trying to think of an example of one that I still have kicking around left. In green, I wanted to play big green Stompy Domp, and I didn't want to play elves.
Well, elves isn't that.
Well, they can be. When I play them, they are.
Okay.
That's why I play elves, is I make them giant and beat you up with them, and that's it. I don't give a shit about combos and stuff. And I was like, okay, how am I going to do this? And I had a bunch of snake cards. Like, ooh, snakes are fun. So I built snakes. If I was going to build something like birds, because birds aren't good. Sorry guys, here's the hood coming all the way up. Birds aren't good. So what you have to do is find a way to leverage your birds to make them good. Our second deck played Beastmaster Ascension in it.
Ooh, yeah.
You have a bunch of shitty little flying
or
creatures.
the gravitational shift was another example of that, right?
Yeah, you're just going to make your birds big. You force them. You make them big. You beat the shit out of people with them.
Wait, hold on. I got to stop you. This is the most CCOist question of the day.
Okay.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how badly do you want to build a tribe specifically because it's bad?
8.
8?
It is my favorite thing to do.
Why wouldn't it be a 10 then?
Well, because I have other things. I want to build red things. And there are no red tribes that are bad.
Oh, except for birds, because there are some.
Yeah, except for birds and
Weirds
minotaurs and
minotaurs,
rocks and all that shit. And I
Yeah.
tried minotaurs too, by the way.
Oh man,
And it didn't turn out good. But the key is you got to force them somehow. You got to find a way to make it work.
okay,
And-
I'm down with that.
Yeah, like I did the shapeshifter one, and it turned into your win conditions or my win conditions deck because they're all clones.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, and it's
that's actually one of the things that I was going to ask you about. So when you're forcing under-supported tribes, do you jam token makers like we're looking at Pride of the Clouds? That's actually an elemental cat, but you can forecast it to make bird tokens. Do you force token makers like that aren't technically birds?
if you're playing the deck to win by attacking with birds, yes.
Yeah.
If you're just using it as kind of I don't want to say a cover because then it makes it sound like a grease ball. Because you can play a bird tribal deck that wins with a combo or something else.
Yeah, just kidding. Dink faces, die.
Well, not even that. Like, I mean, sometimes you just want to build a blue-white deck and you don't want it to be this optimized tutor-filled removal fest. So you put in some creatures. It's a backup plan. It's fun. You get to play a bunch of cards that nobody's ever going to see ever.
I get you.
And like, the deck is fun. It makes the deck feel a little bit more fun, even if it is a combo deck.
So, okay, hold on. We'll go back to cards you don't see very often. So if you include something like Pride of the Clouds, would you not then include something like Mimic Vat, Mirage Mirror, Clones, and Riptide Replicator? Those all make like tokens or copies of things to get your tribe redundancy up.
I like all those things. You could play any one of them totally justifiably. I try and stay away from them where I can, just because they're too easy. Like when I built Reaper King, I didn't fill it up with clones, even though that is 100% how you do that deck. Except for Sakashima the Imposter. You always play Sakashima the Imposter. That's why he's...
Yeah, she's good. He's good. She's good.
That's why they're... What are they, $40?
Yeah, they're lots.
That's why there's so much money, because it's your second commander.
Let's go down and do some more birds. I want to read Kanji Airy Keeper, because if anybody wants to do birds, like this might be it.
Okay, I dig it. Let's do it.
2/2 for white, blue, 2. Flying, of course, is a bird. It's creature legend. Good old invasion, right?
Yeah.
Kicker, X2. When Kanji comes into play, if you paid the kicker cost, put X feather counters on it. So you got to pay 6 before you can put any feather counters on it. All birds get +1/+1 for each feather counter on Kanji.
That's pretty cool.
So if you just dump a ton of mana into it, like it's like a, I don't know, not Crater Hoof, but like makes your guys giant.
Now here's a fun thing with that. I talked about Aven Mimeomancer earlier.
Yep.
Okay. He's a 3/1 for 1 white blue flying. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may put a feather counter on target creature.
Oh.
If you do, it becomes a 3/1 and has flying as long as the feather counter is on it. So you could actually just put feather counters on him.
That's like proliferating your Kanji before when Proliferate was still in the underground, yo.
Yeah. So it's there's an interaction, right? Like it's 2 cards that nobody plays, and that's fun. That's cool, right? Like
that is actually so sick. Yeah. I didn't know that.
So that's a thing.
Man, when I made that first EDH deck with Kanji, Aven Mimeomancer didn't even exist.
Wow.
We are old.
Yeah, we've been playing a long ass time, dude. Oh.
Let's shove on. You know what? I actually want to bring us to strengths and weaknesses.
Okay. But I want to talk about one more card.
Okay.
One more card. It's a creature, Jotun Owl Keeper.
Or is it Jotun?
Jotun.
I don't know what it is.
Doesn't matter. It's the Owl Keeper. It's a 3/3 for 3. One of them is white. It's a giant. It's like the first affordably costed giant that doesn't totally suck. And it still kind of sucks.
You hating on Hill Giant? He's rad, dude.
Yeah, F him.
I'm gonna get you like an Alpha Hill Giant for your birthday. Man.
I would.
If we find one in Vegas, we're gonna get Alpha Hill Giants.
I'm gonna get him graded and keep him forever.
I was gonna say I'm gonna deface him with a bunch of other like content creators and then give them to you. Maybe like Max Grandel can like give you a mushroom stamp on it or something and give it to you.
Gross. Jotun Owl Keeper is actually also good. Why is he in a bird deck? He has cumulative upkeep of white or blue. So every turn it goes up and you got to pay more. Then when he dies, you get a bird for each age counter on him.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, so he like raises the birds. And then when he dies, all the birds go free.
2 things. First thing, I think when there's enough birds and he can't look after them anymore, they kill him.
That's depressing, Ryan. Look, he has a
They're
warm
birds
little,
of prey, dude. They're going to eat. They need to eat meat.
He's got a warm little cabin there. Okay, and the movie The Birds is shit.
Second thing, do not Google mushroom stamp.
I know what it is.
Well, I'm just saying out there in CCO Nation, that is a definite do not Google. Moving on. Strengths and weaknesses.
Okay.
Kanji and Aven Mimeo, whatever. Synergy. Both in tribal effects. I was going to say birdie things, but tribal things. Similar abilities. You can probably build a good curve with 250 creatures to access, certain amount of 2 drops, 3 drops, 4 drops, 5 drops, etc. to make your deck hum. And colors. If you want to build your Azorius bird deck, then all of your Azorius birds are kind of going to be flying in the same direction.
Yes.
Right? And it's probably going to jive with the rest of what that color does, because birds in particular are fairly synonymous with white and blue.
Yep. And there's lots of cool backup for them. In those, there's lots of neat backup.
There you go.
We have Bident of Thassa in one deck. We have Coastal Piracy in another, so you go draw lots of cards. There's lots of just incidentally really neat cards that go really well with a big team of dudes that are hard to block.
There you go. Weaknesses. I'm gonna go out there on a limb and say most tribes like to attack. Is this true?
Yes.
I'm glad you said that, because I didn't actually ask you that off air. Is this a strength? Is it a weakness? Like in Bird Tribal, is it a weakness that you have to win with your like draft chaff?
Bird Tribal, it's a weakness. You have to win with draft chaff, yes. This is not Living End Modern deck where you win with a bunch of draft chaff.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
a Garna Cycler draft chaff deck.
Yeah, or that. You're going to have a hard time if you're trying to, unless you're going to do it like deck number 2, where you're going to splash in, you're going to take a less efficient commander to splash in a new color to get access to something that's going to make your guys actually big so you can win games.
Hey, that sounds like a deck that we have planned in the future.
Yes,
that actually sounds like another deck we've got planned in however many weeks from now.
Yes, but it's going to be hard for you because there's not very many lords. There's not very many ways to just make your dudes awesome on the creatures, which is one of the big hallmarks of a tribal deck, right? Merfolk and goblins and elves, they all make your merfolk and goblins and elves do stuff, whereas birds don't really do that.
That's okay.
It's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just we talked about that a little earlier.
You know what I feel like? We're not ragging on it, but I'm talking about these bird decks, and I feel like if I sat down and played against these decks, I would just lose to them all the time. Because I'm just not equipped to deal with flying.deck. Like, sure, I run Wraths and stuff, but I'm trying to think, like, I don't really have decks that are just going to, like...
Just block these things all day.
Block all day and expect not to trade, right? I'm playing little utility guys or guys that don't fly or whatever, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to lose to this deck all day when I play it.
These decks are good.
I think Jake is coming to Vegas.
Ooh.
So if he plays this deck, I'm just gonna lose to it, and we're gonna go drink a beer.
He'll probably just take games off of us with it. The decks are none of the decks we're talking about are bad. They have weak tribes, but the decks are good. They play all of the best removal because you have white. They play some counter magic. They have Rift.
Hey, that's actually a good point I didn't have in my notes. Is you can play a bad deck, but it doesn't mean your deck's bad.
You can play a bunch of bad cards and it doesn't make your deck bad.
That's exactly how my Lord of Tressorhorn deck is.
Yeah.
It plays all the bad cards, but it's a good deck. Speaking of good decks, I got a little thing for him blocking the notes so you can't see now that you can actually see.
Here, I'll take my glasses off. There, they're off. I can't see.
I can be sitting here with no clothes on. He doesn't even know.
Yeah, now that I know how bad my sight is when I take my glasses off, it's actually kind of disconcerting.
Yeah, it's actually scary.
I feel like I'm looking out of my head's in a fishbowl with water in it. That's what that is.
Okay, Tribal Showdown.
Okay.
And it's not all of what you think it is.
Okay.
It's just some of it.
I'm ready. What are we doing? How do we play?
You'll see.
Okay.
You have to give me an answer and the reason.
Okay.
Coat of Arms or Door of Destinies?
Door of Destinies.
So Coat of Arms, 5-drop. All creatures get +1/+1 for each other creature that shares a creature type. Every creature.
Yeah. That's why Door of Destinies.
Door of Destinies
takes longer. It costs 4, but every time you play a creature of a named creature type, it gets a counter. Creatures get +1/+1. Creatures you control get +1/+1 for each counter on it.
Just yours. So you're willing to spend the time.
I'm willing to take a little bit of time
build.
to not have somebody just be able to wipe me out if they have a bunch of incidental tribal stuff happening, which happens a lot in a 4-player game.
Yeah, you actually get surprised sometimes when you're like, oh wait, how big's that? Oh wait, those are both humans, or those are both what?
Yeah, it turns out every good mana dork is an elf.
Yeah,
weird.
Okay, now on to the real game. That was just a warm-up round.
Okay,
dinosaurs or goblins?
Ooh,
dude,
I like goblins more.
Goblins?
Yep, goblins are classic. I love goblins. I'll always pick goblins. Plus, they have more lines of play, and therefore they're a little bit deeper and more interesting. Dinosaurs have some amazing cards that are super big and splashy and fun, but they're just big dumb idiots at the end of the day.
You heard it here first. Brando says goblins are deeper than dinosaurs.
And I'm right.
Mono red versus, I'm going to say Naya. Yeah? Deeper?
Yep.
All right. Tell him he's wrong on Twitter if you think he's wrong.
I'm not.
Now here's the test.
Okay.
Goblins
Ooh.
or slivers?
Well, that's not even fair. Oh.
Brando's a sliver guy.
I am a sliver guy.
You're not a sliver guy because you think they're the best tribe, right? You're a sliver guy because you started during Tempest Block. And slivers were the tits then, right?
Yeah, I started playing slivers because I was like a kid, and they were so cool, right? They looked cool, and they do cool things. They all work together, and I had one that everybody wanted, and only I had it. It was very cool.
It happened to be the best one.
Yeah, it happened to be the best one of all time.
That's a good one.
That is a very good one.
Now, let's go back to the depth of these two creature tribes, because now I think goblins are deeper. Slivers want to do one thing. Right? They just want to all get together. They all want to have a big sliver party, switch keys and phone numbers and swing with each other. And don't drink and drive when you go to your swinger parties, by the way. And they want to do sliver things.
Yes.
You could have, like you've done, Sliver Queen combo decks, which isn't a sliver tribal deck.
No, I think if you're talking about tribal stuff, I think, again, goblins are probably a deeper tribe.
It's funny we're calling goblins a deep tribe. Welcome to CCO Nation.
Right?
Like they're mono-red small creatures that want to make lots and attack.
Yeah, and because slivers do everything. They can do actually everything. They can combo, they can beat you down, they can control, they can do all that stuff. They can mill you, they can do everything. But they do everything. And as much as that sounds like, oh, well, that's you're doing everything. Obviously, they're super deep. But every sliver deck does everything.
Yeah, or it does exactly what you want it to do. I don't know. Maybe that is an argument for it being a deeper tribe.
I think
because I could make a mill sliver deck, or I could make a. This is like the actual definition of deep is I can do whatever I want. It doesn't need to be everything in one deck. I'm just playing devil's advocate to you.
Absolutely.
It doesn't need to be everything all in one deck because I'm the sliver guy and I want to play one of every sliver, and EDH is the format that I can do that. I could make a mill sliver deck, or I could make a aggro sliver deck, or a combo sliver deck, or a exile all your permanents sliver deck.
And for the most part, all of those decks would be the exact same deck with 4 different cards in it. If you want to do different stuff with goblins, you have to do different stuff.
You need to physically play like 25 different cards than
exactly
the next guy.
Yeah, like if you want to have a goblin deck that doesn't kill people by attacking, we gotta work for that. With slivers, it's like, okay, how do I use Intruder Alarm to win this game? Here's the one that taps to mill you. Okay, there we go. Here's the one that taps to make a guy that exiles your stuff. Cool. Here's the one you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's Gemhide Sliver, Sliver Queen, Intruder Alarm, sliver that does what you want it to do, win the game. That's what every sliver deck is at its core.
Yeah, I can't really argue.
And I love slivers, and I can say that.
If somebody can argue it, let's hear it. Like, let us know, right? Maybe send a sliver deck, and maybe we'll do it. Have we ever done a sliver deck? Besides, like, your Sliver Queen Arc of Escalation Tier 2.
Yeah,
Besides that one.
Arc of Escalation, we did it. Other than that, no. When we were doing the 5 competitive lists that we ever did, we have not done, like, a CCO-style sliver deck.
This is what I want. CCO Nation, send in a sliver deck that even we would do.
Ooh, I like
that.
that. Yeah, man, let's do that. I'll add, please.
I won't. I don't want it that bad.
I do. I want to see it. I'm going to put my glasses back on because I want to see everything else, too.
Okay, I got one last thing.
Okay.
So you're talking about goblins, you're talking about slivers, you're talking about dinosaurs. How do any of those decks beat sweepers? How do they beat Wrath of God deck? And I have the answer, so I want to hear what you say, but I want to bring it full circle.
How do they? Okay. Do you want me to do all 3 of them?
Sure.
Dinosaurs, unless you make your guys indestructible, you're probably just going to have to rebuild real slow.
Okay. That sounds terrible.
Goblins,
because they're like huge, and it like takes 800. It takes 65 million years for them to rebuild.
I was hoping you'd make that joke. And then goblins, you just don't overextend and play smart, so that you can rebuild. Plus, everything costs 1 mana, so you just play it again.
That sounds like lots of people don't actually know how to do that.
It's hard, but you can do it.
Okay.
And then slivers, you have blacks. You just play all the things that get your stuff from your graveyard back into play.
That's my favorite answer. Yep. That's my favorite answer because it works everywhere.
How do you beat Wrath of God and slivers? Patriarch's bidding.
Yes. That's why that card's $25.
Because all the slivers that they've been killing to stop you from winning, they're all coming back too.
You know what my answer is to how do you beat Wrath of God deck when you're a tribal deck?
Do tell.
You play Azorius Birds and you just run counter spells. Because none of the tribes you were talking about have very much room for counter spell, do they?
They certainly don't. Maybe Slivers.
Maybe Slivers.
But you're right. You are right. And that is a very good strength of Bird Tribal.
There you go. And a very glaring weakness of all other tribal decks in general, right? Is you're going to run into sweeper decks because by and large, if you're not playing one of the, air quotes, my turn, real tribes, you're going to run into problems with overextending to try and win the game because you're probably playing an aggro deck. If you don't have a tribe that supports a whole ton of tokens really quickly or that can rebuild, Wraths are going to stop you. If you're not playing something like Eldrazi Tribal or Demon Tribal, we said off air.
Yeah, or Angels.
That lets you go a little bit taller, you're probably not going to get there, right?
Yeah.
So how do you do it? You play Bird Tribal and play counter spells. Yeah.
You play a goddamn control deck is how you do it.
Or with a backup win condition like you had said with, like at the start of the show.
Yeah.
Maybe you just do that.
You just have something else buried in there. It's the old, you just have to win the game.
Yeah, does that feel cheeky? That kind of feels cheeky when I do that because eventually it's going to be like my de facto way and everything else that's going on is just trying to keep me alive to eventually get to what should have been my main plan anyways, and then I just like do it. You know what I mean? Is it cheeky?
I get what you're saying. I don't think it is. Unless you start cutting stuff to make the combo easier.
That goes back to my question. On a scale of 1 to 10, how badly do you want to play a tribe that's bad?
8.
8, which means you probably aren't going to start cutting your
I'm
whatevers.
I'm not because I don't know. I'll build a deck that's bad. I'm going to tell the story real fast.
Sure.
To just illustrate that, the zombie deck that I still haven't looked at. Out of this new set, how many zombies were there? Like 1 million.
Yeah.
I got 3 cards that I really wanted to put into that zombie deck, but I'm not going to look through it to make the cuts. You know what I did? I taught Kyla how to read converted mana costs, and I got her to do it.
Whoa.
I just don't pull out any zombies. Just go in there, just find something that's the same, pull it out.
What did she pull out?
Don't know. I don't know. She pulled them out, put them face down. They're in my cupboard, put the new cards in.
What did she put in?
She put in new Liliana.
The Dreadhorde champion? That card is something else, let me tell you.
A Kefnet god, the god Kefnet.
That's that's a blue one.
The blue one. And the white one, or Ketra or whatever. I think that's their names.
Yes, that one is a mighty card as well.
Yeah,
hey?
so
Cast a creature, get a 4/4?
So I know 100% that deck's top end got way better.
Yeah, there you go. Do you got the 4/4 zombie that Kefnet makes? The token?
I do.
You do?
I
didn't get one.
I got like 9,000 of the armies.
I mean, no, we didn't get any War of the Spark.
No.
We didn't get any.
Did not.
Especially no foil rares, and I was not drinking Pilsner.
You're such a dad.
That's it. That's all I had. That's all of my Brando pick your brain about tribal. You're the tribal guy here, so I was leaning on you a little bit.
Love tribal. It's my favorite thing. I actually think it is my favorite thing. I love building tribal decks.
You know what my favorite thing is?
What's that?
The dark.
I love the dark too. And somebody could learn why we love the dark so much by winning it. How do they win it, Ryan?
2 ways. Sort of. Go to iTunes. Give us a 5-star review. That's awesome. Written review of the podcast. Tell everybody else how awesome it is when they search for us.
Can you do that on Google Play and Spotify as well?
I don't know about Spotify. I know nothing about Spotify except we're there. Rebecca listens to Spotify. I don't. Google, I actually asked Evan and Smitty. No, just Smitty, because he's like the Google guy, right? F you, Smitty. You didn't give me the answer I wanted, first of all. And no, I don't think that you can.
Huh.
Yeah, that's so weird.
It is very strange.
If anybody out in CCO Nation knows how to like do a review of our podcast on Google Play Store or whatever, let us know because you can win with your entry of
help
Googling.
us out, man. Like help us out. We're trying to spread the word and encouraging you to help us with that. So if you can figure out a way of doing it, fill the boots.
That's it. The other way to win is share the show with somebody and find some creative way to let us know. And that does include sort of giving us pictures of your legs in your bathtub and telling us that you shared the show.
Oh my.
Yeah, that was the thing.
Oh wow. That's a thing that happened. Okay.
Creative way to share the show. Let us know. I'm rhyming now. I'm just going to stop talking.
So I guess there we have it. We did 3 decks-ish. Bird Tribal. We talked some tribal stuff. I hope you guys found it as interesting and entertaining as we seemed to have. But thanks again to everybody that sent in their lists. We're going to be back to do like an in-depth single deck tech, I think, next week. We've got lots of stuff coming down. We've got a couple more weeks. So please send in your lists if you want us to take a look at them. We're looking for the sliver list. Everybody that sends stuff in will get you entered into win some sliver bag shit. Sliver bag? Foil bag stuff. Thank you all for being here. You make the show as much fun as it can possibly be, and we're in a great community that you guys have created for us, and that is tremendous. And we will see you back here again on another episode of Commander Cookout Podcast. Hit our theme song!